The provision under Section 23, Article 6, while vital for national security, also carries immense responsibility. In the context of the current geopolitical climate, it is paramount that such powers are wielded with utmost caution and foresight. Firstly, transparency is key. Any decision to declare war or exercise emergency powers must be subjected to rigorous public scrutiny and legislative oversight to ensure it aligns with our national interest and democratic values. Secondly, we must ensure that these powers are time-bound and subject to regular review. This is to prevent any overreach and to maintain checks and balances within our government structures. Lastly, in the spirit of safeguarding our democracy and the welfare of our citizens, any use of these powers must be accompanied by a robust dialogue with all sectors of society, including defense, economic experts, and civil rights groups to assess the impacts comprehensively. As a nation, our strength lies in our unity and adherence to democratic principles, even in times of crisis. It is our duty to ensure these principles are upheld.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our main speaker, Senator Mariam Espesol Cantago. Senator Cantago, a name synonymous with brilliance and unwavering commitment, is a beacon of inspiration and a testament to the power of dedication and intellect. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you a woman of substance, a leader par excellence, Senator Mariam Espesol Cantago. Now, the next question is coming from my office. As the Director of Student Affairs and Services here in Mindanao State University, I am keenly aware of the impact that national decisions, especially regarding matters such as war and emergency powers, have on our youth. In this context, how do you envision the role of educational institutions and students in contributing to and understanding these critical national issues? What initiatives can be taken to ensure that our students are not only well informed but also actively engaged in these discussions?
First and foremost, it is essential to embed human rights safeguards into our legislation or executive action that involves the declaration of war and emergency powers. Independent oversight is key. Furthermore, it is imperative to maintain an open and inclusive dialogue with civil society organizations. In times of crisis, whether it is war or state of emergency, firstly, our educational institutions should serve as hubs of critical thinking and informed debates. Second, it is crucial. Furthermore, I believe in the experiential learning.
Thank you very much, Senator Cantago, for giving emphasis on the role of the students in addressing these critical issues. Now, the next question is coming from one of our student leaders. Here is his question. Senator Cantago, as a student leader, I am deeply interested in how young leaders, people like us, can play a more active role in shaping our nation's policies, especially in critical issues like the use of emergency powers and the declaration of war. What avenues do you suggest for youth participation in these high-stake decisions, and how can we ensure that our voices are not only heard but also given due consideration?
To the student, thank you for your question. The involvement of youth in our political process is not just beneficial. Firstly, I encourage young people to engage with their representatives. Secondly, involvement in youth wings of political parties, student unions. Additionally, I believe in the power of education and awareness. I also advocate for the inclusion of youth representative in advisory committees. Lastly, I urge young people to utilize digital platforms to amplify their voices. Remember, your voice is your power.
Thank you, Senator, for that enlightening response to that question raised from our peace advocate from the Muslim organization. Now we are down to the last question today. This is coming from a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Now here's the question, Senator. As a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, I am interested in understanding your perspective on the checks and balances between the legislative and the judiciary, particularly on the context of emergency powers and declarations of war. How do you see these two branches of government working together to ensure that such powers are exercised within the bounds of the Constitution? And what measures can be taken to strengthen this interbranch oversight?
First and foremost, any exercise of emergency power or the declaration of war must be approached with. To ensure this, there must be a strong framework in the Constitution for consultation and dialogue. Moreover, it is essential to have transparent and accountable mechanisms in place. In regions with ongoing peace process, it is crucial that efforts are not only protected but also actively supported. Lastly, I believe in the inclusive governance.
Thank you very much, Senator, for that very enlightening response to the question from a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. And that ends our conversation today. We may have ended a very timely talk about Section 23, Article 6 of the Philippine Constitution, but definitely this is not the end of our quest to delve deeper on a more constitutional.
Go.
We may have ended a very timely talk about Section 23, Article 6 of the Philippine Constitution, but definitely this is not the end of our quest to delve deeper on more constitutional issues of our country. With you around in the near future, we cannot thank you enough. All we can pray is that God grant you more years to be in the government for the general welfare of the country. Thank you once again, Senator Mariam Espesor Cantago.
Thank you for that pertinent question. The relationship between the legislature and the judiciary is foundational to our democracy, especially when it comes to the exercise of extraordinary powers such as declarations of war or emergency powers. Firstly, it is imperative that the legislature exercises its duty to create laws that are clear, just, and constitutionally sound. Secondly, the role of the judiciary in this context is to act as the guardian of the Constitution. To strengthen this oversight, one measure could be the establishment of a special oversight committee within the legislature comprising members who are well versed in constitutional law and civil liberties. Furthermore, there should be a mechanism for expedited judicial review in cases involving the exercise of emergency powers. Additionally, transparency and open communication between branches are crucial. Lastly, public engagement and civil society oversight can act as additional layer of checks and balances. In conclusion, a collaborative and vigilant approach between the legislative and the judiciary, underpinned by transparency, legal clarity, and public engagement, is essential in maintaining the delicate balance of power and protecting our democratic principles. Underpinned by transparency, legal clarity, and public engagement is essential in maintaining the delicate balance of power and protecting our democratic principles.